What's up, YouTube family? We're back with another crazy one, and today we are literally going to break down a crazy trade which we actually did take right there in the community. So far, this particular trade level was sent out right there, and then this was like very clean and beautiful setup, right? So far today, we actually did take a 50 USD, so 1,000 USD, right? So over 1,000 USD, and then this particular trade was recorded right there in the community, right? And we also did capitalize on bit on gold. So in this video, I'm literally going to show you how to like trade BTC and at the same time approach high volatile pairs, right? Now this was the gold setup, which was actually called out right there in the community stay. And we actually did capitalize on this over 300 pips to the upside, and BTC actually did pound up pretty well, right? So this was literally the entrance. This is how impulsive we actually did move all the way to the downside. So if you're new to this particular community, don't forget to like and subscribe to this particular YouTube channel, right? And don't forget to click on the link in this particular video description to actually be part of our free Telegram community. So far, how did we actually play this particular pair and how we were able to like catch on gold, being able to like capitalize on almost every single point, right? Now, this is going to be a disclaimer that I'm literally putting out what I do trade and how you can approach this, right? So there's a very big likelihood that you'll be able to like replicate the same thing. As I did say, don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. So far, we literally did approach gold, BTC from a very simple view, right? So far, we actually do have this on the chart. We actually did call every single buy level right here, okay? And then we actually did say this in price, okay? So let's take a look at what we actually did have present. So far right here, we actually do get the presence of a clean QML, okay? Now we actually do have higher high, higher low, higher high, and then we actually did get a structural change to the downside, right? So price coming back all the way to this suggests a reversal, okay? So it's just more like you're actually seeing a previous shoulder, and you're getting a structural change like this, right? Like this, right? So this is pretty much what we actually want to see in price, right? So this is the pattern present. And remember, as I always do say, we actually do use this pattern or apply these patterns on higher time frame. So if you're particularly a day trader, you actually want to make sure you look out for these patterns on the 4 hour time frame, right? So this is particularly the 4 hour time frame, and then we actually want to make sure we're able to like pinpoint the origin of this particular reversal. So I'm literally going to make this as detailed and short as possible, right? So whenever you actually have a very volatile pair you're trading, right, your major aim is to be able to like have an accurate point and price, right? So we actually do have this previous shoulder and this head, and then we actually do have price coming back into this. So this is going to suggest that we actually want to see price come back to the same level where the previous level was listed at, right? So this is literally going to suggest this particular point right now. So how will we be able to like refine this and then get an accurate reversal point? So going through this right now, we do see that right in the midst of this entire level, there's always going to be a level that is nested inside that particular zone. So you actually have a 4 hour, you will definitely see, or you should be ready, you should look out for a zone that propelled the origin of the entire movement, right? Still the same pattern you actually want to look out for. So right here, we actually do see that this was the first point. So we actually do have in respect to structure, right? If you actually do look this up in respect to structure, we are literally going to see the same pattern that came up, right? So this is a high, low, higher high, higher low, right? And then we did actually push all the way to this higher high, higher low still, and back to this, and then back to this, right? So this is what you actually want to see. Then an expansion all the way to the downside. So remember in the 4 hour time frame, we actually did get um, just a push, right? But right now we're literally seeing the presence of a very impulsive push on price. So now since we actually do have this, automatically I've literally moved all the way from having this bigger zone to just having this particular point, right? To having just this extreme point and price, right? Now we can see that price actually did print this particular level, and there was a push right here to make sure price taps into this. So a lot of impatient sellers will literally be trying to sell at this particular point, and this is where you actually do have the concept of liquidity coming in. So you actually can't see liquidity, you only know for sure that people who are trying to be impatient in the market will end up trying to sell right here, and then they literally will be like, all right, this is my invalidation level. And the price might literally take this out and then stop them out. All right. So this incorporates patience, and at the same time, it literally means that you actually want to make sure you're literally on the right side of the market. Now, since you actually do have the 4 hour being in control, and then this is the ultimate reversal point, that is the high value area where we actually did refine from the highest points to pinpointing an accurate reversal point, right? If you actually take a fib all the way from this point to this particular point, right, you'll see that we actually did play above the 0.5% level. And at the same time, we actually did play in the golden zone of a 0.78, right? And this is literally one of the things you actually want to look at. When you're actually looking to sell based off an external level, you want to make sure that price gives you, should we call it a very upon that premium pricing. Okay, so when we talk about premium pricing, you apply the Fibonacci and then you actually want to make sure prices above the 0.6% level and at the same time tapping into the 0.7% level, right? Now, when price comes all the way into this particular point, you can see for a very short fact that we actually do have a presence of a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and lower low, right? So any single movement that is literally going to be all the way to this upside is going to like be for price to push all the way to the downside to take out the structure. These same trouble levels were literally caught right there, and then all we actually had to do was take our entry immediately. We actually did see this price action, right? Now you can literally bring this to the same factor that how we were able to like flip a 500 to 3K on this. We actually did take our initial entry right here, right? And then as price actually did present an engulfing candle, boom, we actually did scaling fully. Price, we actually did take our entry, and as price presented an engulfing candle, boom, which did give a very valid shot right here. So as price actually did present an engulfing candle right here, we actually did scaling fully, maximizing, right? So if you're practically new to this, you should incorporate this into your arsenal, right? And then when we take a look at gold, the same pattern applies, right? So we take a look at this. So we actually do see the price it present us with what a buying opportunity right here. Okay, and we're able to like refine this all the way from the 4 hour, and then the same thing applies, right? So if we take a look at the 4 hour time frame, you can literally apply this simple day trading strategy to your arsenal, and then you're literally going to have a higher win rate. As I did say, you should stick to the end of this particular video to get every single nugget which we are literally going to incorporate, right? And if you're new to this particular channel and you want to be part of the community, click on the link in this particular video description to be part of us, right? So right here, we actually do see price made a lower low, lower high, and then lower low, valid lower low, right? And if you're literally asking why we actually have this to be a valid lower low, we actually do see valid body close below the previous body, right? The price moves all the way to the upside, and then we created a higher low, right? So we actually want to see price come back to a level that's literally going to propel it up, right? So as a day trader, you're not looking to hold all the way to the upside, right? As you're looking to like pick a trade, have a specified target, and then you scale out. So right here, we actually do have the presence of an SNL level. This is a previous trader, this is the head, and price coming into this, right? So if we take a look at the lower time frame structure, we should actually see price giving us a valid play, which is more like indicating a readiness for price to like come all the way to the downside, right? So if you take a look at the lower time frame, you can literally see we have a valid play in price, right? So we're actually saying um, lower low, lower high, lower low, okay? We actually do see a very valid play lower low, and we actually get this very lower low right here, and then this is a high. Okay, so all of this particular structure is going to be incorporated into one because you actually do have this making majority of the previous low, right? But in this particular case now, every single low before this is literally going to serve as liquidity. So this right here, although this had price in respect to its own structure, this right here is going to be liquidity, and then this also right here is going to be fake out, right? Now you can literally have this level in price, which is still pretty much valid, right? But we actually do have this entire low being valid, right? We actually had a higher high, and then price kept giving it on particularly until we got to this right, and boom, we expanded. Now I want you all to like take notice of the impulse that comes in from this particular zones, which is to tell you how real these particular zones can be, right? So every single trade level taken was literally shared out right there in the community, and we actually did take this particular sell level. The signal was given to the signal room, right? And we actually did take this particular account, which is from a 50 USD, pretty much the same way to actually stacking, right? So if you're looking forward to like seeing how I was able to like stack in on this and we are able to like achieve this flip, right? Do well to like refer back to the previous video on how to like stack in or flip with a zero drawdown attach, right? So as I did say, if you're new to this particular YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe because we're literally coming with more crazy and crazy burgers, right? So you see you guys on the next slide as we look towards smashing the weekly flip target for the entire week. This is literally Thursday, and we have literally had a whole lot of profitable weeks ahead, trades already, right? So we would definitely smash the weekly targets. See you guys on the next slide.